Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. What a sad day it is. In case you haven't heard, in my opinion, and I would think in a lot of people's opinion, most people's opinion, the greatest pro wrestler of all time, Terry Hulk Hogan Balea, has passed away, apparently due to a heart attack. He lived in Clearwater, Florida. Somebody at his house, maybe his wife or somebody, called the paramedics saying he was having a heart attack. They showed up, took him to the hospital. 90 minutes later, he's pronounced dead at the hospital at 71 years old. And I don't know too much about it. There might be details coming out, but I'm just kind of just reacting to this news raw. Just heard about it. And, you know, you hear about celebrities dying all the time. You know, celebrities die all the time for various reasons. Just the other day, this fucking asshole is going to try to pass me even though the passing lane is ending, you stupid bitch. Yeah, you better put your hand up and wave and say my bad. Still not taking back the stupid bitch, though. Anyway, just the other day, Theo from The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, dead at 54. He drowned in Costa Rica on vacation with his family. And then Ozzy Osbourne, yesterday, dead at 76. So people who believe that celebrity deaths come in threes, there you go. Wow, but Hulk Hogan, you know, celebrities die all the time. You know, they're no different than we are. It affects their family the same as it affects us, you know, when our loved ones die. But, you know, depending on your experiences and how you knew that celebrity, it hits different. I can remember when Brandon Lee died. What was that, 94? Remember where I was when I heard it. Same with when Aaliyah died, when Tupac died. Not so much Biggie. You know, growing up out here on the West Coast, not that we didn't hear about him, but Tupac was definitely more of a favorite. So, you know, there's celebrities you hear about when they die, and, you know, it affects you. We're human. We have these emotional connections to these people. We're, you know, in a sport like Hulk Hogan, you know, your emotions are involved. Your high emotions. You're excited. You're sad. You're pissed. You know, so you have emotional experiences with these people, whether you like it or realize it or not. And being a little kid, you know, in the 80s, I was born in 1980, so 85, you know, just the height. So many great things came out in 1985. But the WWF at the time, the World Wrestling Federation, was larger than life, and it was headed by Hulk Hogan. And you had tons of other wrestlers. You know their name: Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Sergeant Slaughter, Undertaker, all these people, the baby faces, the heels, you know, the good guys and the bad guys. But no one was bigger than Hulk Hogan. You know, you all brother. And the cartoon, the toys, wrestling. Unfortunately, he made a movie called No Holds Barred with Tiny Zeus Lister, also RIP for him, aka Debo from Friday. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. But as a little kid, it was awesome. Every Saturday watching the WWF, you know, who's he going to be beefing with this week? Who's going to be his tag team partners? Are going to be Mr. T? Is it going to be the Junkyard Dog? You know, the classic, you know, they got him in the sleeper hold and they hold his arm up and it falls. Oh no, Hulkster's going to lose. They hold his arm up again, it falls. No. But the third time they hold his arm up, he starts pumping his fist. Then he starts throwing elbows, you know, some punches to the head. Then he gives you that patented, that finishing move, the leg drop. Man, so many great memories attached to Hulk Hogan. Then my older brother, inevitably would try the wrestling moves on me. And that wasn't good. I got DDT'd into the floor one time. We'll talk about that in another video. But Hulk Hogan was awesome. You know, he was just everything positive. You'll find a wrestler or an entertainer or an athlete who says things like, say your prayers, take your vitamins, and listen to your parents. That's what Hulk Hogan would tell little kids all around the world. say your prayers, take your vitamins, and listen to your parents, brother. Then he had, remember that TV show, Thunder in Paradise? Excuse me. Thunder in Paradise. Yeah, the other movies, you know, that he came out with. What was it, Mr. Nanny or some shit? They were, you know, nothing was going to get mentioned on Oscar night, but just a pop culture icon. I mean, you know, he'd go to one side of the ring, go like that to his ear. You know, if you're a fan of Hulk Hogan, you know, you're picturing it in your mind right now. You hear him doing, you know, making his promos. Him and Macho Man Randy Savage, who's also gone. Yeah. But those dudes would get together and do a promo, and they're talking to the Iron Sheik. You Iranian son of a bitch. He was anti-American. It's another thing. Hulk Hogan was a huge patriot, not just recently, you know, supporting Trump in his run for the presidency, but way before that, coming into the ring, waving an American flag. Hulk Hogan embodied everything good. His personal life, was it like that? No, but he was playing a character, and it was fucking awesome. This isn't a stop sign, lady. It's yield. I know it's red and white like a stop sign. It just means slow down and be cautious. Am I the only one who went to the DMV to get my driver's license, or do they have them at the bottom of bags of chips and anyone can get one? Anyway, Hulk Hogan was awesome. The character Hulk Hogan was amazing, larger than life. Every Saturday we're in front of that TV. Every time he had a movie come out, you know, the early ones like in the 80s. Once you got into the 90s, I was a teenager. I wasn't going to watch Mr. Nanny or whatever it was called. But I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again, especially on this day, July 24th, 2025, Hulk Hogan, dead at age 71, and initial reports say it's due to a heart attack. So let's rewind. I believe it's 2008. I believe so, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. Whenever he had the reality show on VH1, Hogan Knows Best. It's the height of that show. His daughter Brooke, she has a burgeoning music career, so that's why they came to the radio station that I worked at. Obviously, he was going on her little promo tour because his name's so huge. Let me put whatever celebrity and power I have behind my daughter. What father wouldn't do that? And she was a decent artist. It wasn't like she sucked and she was totally riding, her dad's coattails. She had talent. But I'm not sure if I think she had her own reality show spinoff after Hogan Knows Best. Hogan Knows Best was her whole family, and then I think she had one on her own. But anyway, this is at the height of Hulk Hogan's reality show career. So they're on their way, and often would be the case where artists would be headed up to San Jose or San Francisco to the bigger stations. I was in a smaller market, but they would stop by there as part of their little promo tour. So he comes to our radio station. Of course, the leading up to it, the weeks, as soon as we found out he was coming, everybody's like, oh shit. And I'm talking, these are seasoned radio personalities, whether it be salespeople or DJs on the radio. Myself, I've been doing it for a while, so you knew how to act around celebrities. I interviewed celebrities on air. My first on-air interview was Warren G. And as a child of the 90s, regulators, we regulate any stealing of this property. We're damn good too. But you can't be any geek off the street. You got to be handy with the steal, you know what I mean? Earn your keep. Regulators, mount up. Come on. The shit was everywhere. I remember sneaking around, listening to it like Anne Frank, being all quiet, because my parents found out I was listening to rap music. Are you kidding me? They didn't play that shit. So it was huge for me to be interviewing somebody I was a huge fan of as a teenager. On the surface, hey, what's up, Warren? Nice to meet you. Here's what we're going to do, and here's our breaks. We're going to talk about this and that. I took charge of the situation. This is my show. Here's how we're going to do it. But underneath, like a duck, on the surface, cool. Underneath, I was like, oh shit, Warren G. I can't believe I'm sitting here with Warren G. So you're used to seeing famous people, but when Hulk Hogan came through, there was something in the air. It was like waking up on the morning of the last day of school or the first day of school. It was exciting. People came to work a little early. Everybody had some memorabilia that they wanted him to sign. I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen people bring stuff from home. Yeah, it was a celebrity. Yeah, we got some CDs here for you to sign, or you sign my shirt t-shirt that I'm wearing, some shit like that. Sign this picture. But people are bringing like Hulk Hogan movie VHS tapes, clothing, posters, headbands, all kinds of shit. Things I didn't even know Hulk Hogan did. And side note, did you know that they offered the Foreman grill to Hulk Hogan first and he turned it down? But anyway, they're bringing all this shit all the way down the ladder, from the boss all the way down. People have been doing this for decades, all the way down. Everybody was happy as shit to have Hulk Hogan in the building. So they show up in a limousine. And everybody's like, oh shit, the Hulkster's here. He's here. People are gathered around the door coming into the radio station. That's not like that. We've had some big names come through there. Hot artists, big names. It just wasn't like that. But when Hulk Hogan came through, something different. It tapped into the child in all of us. Everybody was getting in touch with the frosted side of the frosted mini wheats. The little kid inside of you. So, I don't know how I ended up there. I don't remember walking there. All I remember is you come into the radio station, there's a lobby, and then there's a door. You got to have a key card to get through, and then now you're behind the scenes of the radio station. The hallways where the studios are, and the offices, and the bathrooms, and all that shit. So the camera crew is there, and you see the guy. He has the cameras like on this harness, and he's backing up, and Hulk Hogan, here he comes with Brooke. She had on like this dress and stuff, and makeup and hair done, all that. Hulk Hogan comes through, the bandana, the sunglasses, the sleeveless shirt. Hey, hey, brother, and all that. I've been hearing that voice for decades on TV, but to hear it feet away, hey, thanks, brother. Hey, yeah, dude. I was like, what the fuck? So he comes through the lobby, all these people. You got the lady with the clipboard. Hey, Hulkster, we're going to go here, right through here. Yeah. The producer. And, his entourage, it wasn't big. He didn't travel with an army, but he had a few people with him. He's Hulk Hogan. He got to keep track of all these, appearances and interviews and shit and stuff like he's doing today. So he walks through the lobby, comes through the second door, and I'm standing right there. And the camera guy, he backs up right past me. There might even be footage of me somewhere standing there, on the cutting room floor somewhere. But the cameraman backs up behind me, and then I'm standing there right in front of Hulk Hogan. There was nobody in between us. I was standing right there, and I was like 27, 28 at the time. So, I stuck my hand out. Nice to meet you, Hulk. And he goes, hey, nice to meet you, brother. And I was like, oh, it was crazy, right? It was surreal. And then he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he goes, where's the bathroom, brother? I was like, right this way, Hulkster. And so we start walking, and then pretty soon it's just me and him. Everybody kind of stayed back, and I was like, hey, right this way, man. I was like, glad you, thanks for coming by. We really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, dude, and all this stuff. And we get to the bathroom, and I go, I'll leave you here. He's like, yeah, thanks, brother. And I knew my buddy who I worked with was in there, but I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to give him a heads up. I wanted him to like turn around and be like, oh, shit. So sure enough, he comes out. He's like, dude, why didn't you tell me? He's like standing there taking a piss. And he turns around, and Hulk Hogan's standing there. And what's cool about this situation is if I got together with all the people who were there that day, they would all have their own experience and their own version of this story. My buddy, he's going around telling everybody, dude, I was taking a piss. I turned around, Hulk Hogan's standing there. My version's different. We all had these different experiences on the same day. We're all watching the same show, but we had different seats. So he comes out, he goes down to the studio. Everybody's there. All the people who work there lining the hallway. Hey, dude, yeah, brother, dude. And he goes in there and does, he wanted a 12-pack of Miller Genuine Draft. So he brought it in there and he pops one, and they're doing the interview and everything. And the interview ran long, and he was just telling stories and shit. And it ran like 45 minutes long. So the whole time, there are people in the conference room for the meet and greet. There are all these fans. They got shit, jackets, fucking airbrush denim jackets, all this shit you've never even seen. Coffee mugs. And so they're all sitting in the conference room. They saw him just walk by the window, and you could hear him like yelling, "Oh shit." And so it runs along. So his producer, the lady, she's like, "Hulk, we still have to go to Wild 94.9, which was in San Francisco, like an hour and a half away." And she's like, "We got to go. We don't have time for the meet and greet." And he goes, "No, dude, these people came here, brother, and I'm going to meet all of them, dude. You brother. Everything's brother." Not that intense, but he's like, yeah, brother, dude. But that's, it's always bigger in our mind's eye or ear. And so he's like, "No, I'm staying here. These people came here to meet me, and that's what we're going to do." And that was super cool of him, because he could have been, I wouldn't say be a dick. He did have a schedule to keep, but he's right. Those people came there. They were excited. And so he goes in the room, and the thumbnail that I have for this video is obviously the picture of when I met him. He was still a big dude. He probably shrunk a little after all those damn back surgeries and stuff, but still a big dude. I wouldn't have ran up on him in a dark parking lot, that's for sure. But he goes in there, man, and he treats everybody like they're the first person to be excited to see him. He treated them like it was just them standing right there, just those two talking. And everybody, imagine all the people Hulk Hogan has met. When was he in Rocky 3? What was that, 1982? Imagine how many people, Hulk ran up to him, shook his hand, told him their little story. "Man, when I was a kid, I did this. Oh man, I remember going to see you there, and you don't remember, but I was at a fucking Waffle House in Who Gives a Shit, USA, and you shook my hand." Imagine how many times he's had those interactions with regular people like you and I, or other famous people, when they were kids. But he treated everybody like, "You're the first person to come up to me, brother." Like it didn't happen to him every day, all day. That was super cool of him. So he sits there, takes pictures, listens to everybody's little story for about a minute, because you got to move on. And then he left, man. He was hella cool, and the room was just buzzing with everybody. "Oh, he's so cool, man. He signed my shit. I can't believe people are on the phone. Dude, you won't believe man, that shit was crazy." So they say don't meet your idols, and I'm only saying that because that's the saying. I didn't idolize him. I mean, as a kid, but you're a fucking kid. But as an adult, you shouldn't idolize another adult. But they say don't meet your idols or whatever, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because at one point, it didn't get more famous than Hulk Hogan. And it happens with all young people, with somebody who's just super famous. And then, the younger people coming up like, "Oh, you just don't realize how famous that person was." But at one point, there was nobody more famous in the world than Hulk Hogan. He was it. Talk shows, TV shows, movies, wrestling, like I said, toys, cartoons, cereals and shit, clothes. I mean, it was nuts. It was nuts. So to meet him and for him to be that cool, man, I don't even remember meeting his daughter. I don't even remember speaking to her. But what a great guy. Very sad, very weird that he's dead. 71 years old. That's too young to be dying. But wow, Hulk Hogan, dead at 71 from a heart attack. Meet me in the comments. Talk to me, Goose. What's your experience? Did you ever meet him? Did you ever see him? Or seeing him on TV? Memories about wrestling. If you had a brother, no pun intended, if you had a brother. But if you're a little boy and you had a brother, you guys were guaranteed to be wrestling with each other either during the show or after the show. But let me know some memories of Hulk Hogan. But man, what a sad day. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.